And away we go. Booyah. Hey, did y'all see that story about the girl that was? They said that she sucked off the whole Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that
Let me
craziness.
in the age of women empowerment, how does this help y'all cause? Cause I'm always wondering when I hear stories like this because it's just like, what message are we trying to send? You know what I'm saying? Is sexual liberation more important than women empowerment? And how can you empower? You preach the message of empowerment when you got shit like this going on.
I hear what you said, the question that, but I think we have to also question the source. That's the part right there.
Right.
That's you see the two women whose story this is, and one of those was a woman who posted that she had Offset's baby and falsified documents and all that. So it with them, I think it leads back to clout chasing. Okay. And if it is in truth factual that she did have oral sex with 17 members, it's one of those. That's her choice. That's right. What she chooses to do. If that brings her joy, then so be it. I mean, as wild as it sounds, that's how she wants to get down.
All right, what you say, P?
Gotta let a hoe be a hoe. Life's a bitch. People do what they do. It's never been my thing to decide for somebody what they want to do, decide for somebody what's right for them to do. This life that we live is an individual experience. When
Right.
I die, when I pass away, yeah, you might mourn for a few months, few weeks, few years, but the world keeps right on ticking. So if that's what she wants to do, then that's up to her. I'm trying to figure out why these dumbass dudes is 29, 25, 30 years old with millions of dollars standing in a line getting head from one person
Right.
on video camera and a professional athletes, famous people anyway. To me, it sounds kind of whack.
Yeah.
If I got that much money and that much time and I'm that damn horny, I need to have somebody on retainer ready to suck me off whenever I want. That she can come on
Absolutely.
travel with me. You dig what I'm saying? There's no
Absolutely.
need for me to be at no train party when I'm a grown ass man. That's shit you do when you're 12 and 13 and 14.
Right. Right.
The woman, she made her money and she felt like she could make some more money by selling their store. Goddamn, make yourself some money, baby. I think they too stupid for being on the motherfucking camera.
Hey, let me ask you. When I heard this story, it got me to thinking. Cause I always think on some different shit. Uh, the Guinness Book of World Records say the longest train ever ran was 919 dudes. All right, and I'm gonna ask you a question, P man. At what number do you get out the line? Like hypothetically speaking, we sign up for this train. What number do you get out and say this is too much for me? I got to get out of here.
How old are we, huh? That's the question. Because right now, I didn't get in that train. How much are they paying me to get into a train
Okay,
with 190 dudes? Now, come on, man. Let's be for real.
hypothetically speaking,
Find out.
hypothetically, hypothetically speaking, we 19. I mean, we 15 years old. We signed up for the world's largest gang bang. What number is your tap out number? I'm getting out of the
All
line.
right, I'm young. We signed up for this, meaning that we're getting paid, meaning that we made a conscious decision to sign up for this. We
Right.
knew that it was a whole lot of motherfuckers gonna be doing some fucking. Me personally, I'm the poster boy for safe sex.
Right.
Now, if they said that I couldn't fuck with a condom on, then I didn't even sign up for it, and that's
Right.
just the honest to God truth. So if we can use our condoms, we're getting paid,
Right.
and we're kids. I didn't get out that line because I knew what I signed up for when I signed up for.
Motherfucker, you crazy, man. I'm gonna say like
Why would
this.
you sign? Why would you sign up for me? You had to see the 50 people in front of you. I knew that there's 190 something people about to G this chick out. I didn't want none. Either I wanted some or I didn't. So if I signed up for it, why would I get out of line? I knew they was paying me $1,000. I get to wear my rubber. It's looking nasty. I know it's about to be nasty. I either signed up or I didn't. I definitely didn't get out that line.
See,
Ain't never been no bitch. Ain't nobody on my team that know me can tell you I did the let me out the car, dog. I either went or I didn't go.
Yeah.
If I went, I'm all in. If I didn't go, I didn't go.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If I ain't in the top 5, I got after 5, dog. I gotta get out the line. It's too gooey for me. It's too much goo involved, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not waiting. After 5, I'm out. Like that'll have to be in my contract. He go in the top 5, or it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. It's too much goo involved after 5. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just me, bro. I guess that's the OCD part of me. But man, we about to
But
get
see,
started.
that's dumb because you know that. You just told me that. So you knowing that, why'd you sign up in the first place?
Cause you probably, you know what it is. Cause it's like this. Okay, you run into a train. You could arrive late to the train, and other people had already left. But if I was like standing in the line and it was like a whole slew of people, if I'm not in the top 5, like it's one thing we coming in and out, and I just show up and I ain't realize what already took and transpired. But if I know that I'm like 90th in the line, nah, I gotta go. If I ain't top 5, I gotta get out of there. That's too much goo, man. Safe
First
sex
of
or no
all,
sex.
you've seen those movies. They're not waiting in the hallway. They're standing in a line,
Yeah.
butt ass naked with
Right.
their dicks in their hands.
Right.
You know that.
And that's why I gotta go.
So cut the jokes. You didn't join in the party from the beginning. Don't tell me you got there and decided to quit, nigga. That's some bullshit. You just told me that there's too much goo. You telling me you stood in a line with 20 people in front of you with their dicks in their hands, butt ass nigga, before you figured out you didn't want none? Get the fuck out of here.
Sometimes it's like that though. Sometimes,
man.
sometimes you like they say, man. Don't. Sometimes your eyes is bigger than your stomach, so you could be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this, and then you get to it, and you be like, man, wait a minute, this is way more than I thought. Like 900 and something dudes, that's a lot. You a savage to be like. Once you got past like really like 30, you was real savage. You know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't get in that line unless I was fit to go in there and do what I do.
Well, you a savage too, my brother.
I'm a real. I don't start stuff that I don't finish because I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking about, damn, it's gonna be 30 motherfuckers with their dick in their hand, but nigga, I thought about that already.
Right.
I knew before I signed that paperwork whether I could do it or not. And I'm a different breed of cat. They don't really make them like me no more.
You for real. And we're going to move on from that point, man, because you a wild dude.
Segue. How are you going to transition from that topic to today's topic? That's what I want to
know. I want to see that too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're going to get to it. Here we go.
They in the schools with their dick in their hand.
But that shit happen in schools too.
That's what they saying in the schools.
Like, where you think they start? Hey, you want to see how we going to segue into this new topic? Here we go. Bam.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Check it out. All right. Now, we was just talking about the girl that got a throat train ran on. If she was in school, she wouldn't be in that position anyway. So let's get to the new topic that we here to discuss today. We got the special guest, caller of the week, returning guest. Man, let's welcome Miss Rachel to the show. How you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you. That was a beautiful transition. That was a great segue.
But nah, we here today, man. We want to discuss the reopening of schools amid the COVID-19 pandemic. I have 2 kids. They've been in school for, well, one started the week before the other one started last week. All right. Now, it was kind of different because we opted to do the virtual online school versus sending them to school. Now, the thing that I found which we primarily opted for the virtual school out of safety concerns, but it has come with a lot of issues. Now, Ms. Rachel, you are in the education profession. What do you feel about the virtual versus? I mean, what are the pros and cons of the virtual versus in class or sending your kids to school?
Um, well, basically, at this time, I think the pro of having kids do it virtually is safety,
Right.
not just for its children, but the family members or friends, those who come in contact with said child, as well as the safety of the teachers. That's primarily, I think, the purpose of having it done, virtually. Um, but then virtually, it has to be done correct. Right now,
Right.
what I'm seeing and what I'm facing is that there was so much going on politically, not looking at the scientific benefits of distance learning, um, that the districts, they dropped the ball in providing teachers with enough training early enough to really plan accordingly for virtual. So, there was one thing at the, in March when we just had to make that immediate shift. And of course, we weren't trained, we weren't prepared. But now there's, in essence, there's no excuse for it.
Right.
We should have been properly trained. We should have been given, access to the platforms that we're using and things of that nature. And right now, that's where my frustration lies, in that my district, I don't think they've given us adequate preparation. So we're going to come day one, parents are going to be looking at us like we're crazy, because
Right.
we're basically learning right along with the kids.
Absolutely.
unfortunately.
Because I mean, that was my biggest issue, was just that it seemed like the teachers were out of sorts. They didn't really, because they would be like, all right, we're using this platform, and if you go here on this platform, then you can find the work. But then my kid sign or logs on and he can't find the work. So, or the work, the work that's on the platform is has all kinds of typos, and it's not really, it's not beneficial to what they trying to teach. So it's kind of weird. Like, and you absolutely right, because you would have thought with 6 months since this all started, 5 6 months since it began, that knowing that we was going to attempt to go back to school, they would have offered more training to the teachers. Because you have some teachers that they're not technology savvy. You know what I'm saying? And you got some of these kids that know more about it than these kids. Now, a lot of people gonna say, you know, the social aspect of going back to school or whatever. I think with social media, that really doesn't matter nowadays, because you can stay in touch with your friends either way. You don't have to be in class to go to be in touch with your friends. But
And mhm.
it's a weird time, because it's like you say, a lot of times the teachers seem like they don't really know what's going on, uh, and it's
And it's sad. And even with the going back to the actual schoolhouse or the brick and mortar setting,
right,
it's not going to be what we were used to. It's not going to be that traditional model. Kids are still going to be required to have on their mask, or well, that's going to be the push,
right,
because we've seen in some of these cases that have already returned to school that kids aren't wearing their masks. But that's going to be um, what they attempt to enforce. And then the distance within the classroom. Where I am, they're saying basically the kids aren't going to be moving around the school, for things like they used to. It's going to be
right,
the teachers coming to them. So it's kind of got that bleak feeling to it. Like, we've been told to take out non-essential things, the things that we use for engagement in the classroom. So I say all that to say, even though people may be thinking that moving the kids to the classroom will help them emotionally and socially, I'm fair to say that it might actually have a reverse effect on them, because it's going to be so
yeah,
dismal. It is going to be up to the teacher to try and liven it up and things like that. But for example, we've been told we can't give kids manipulatives for math and little.
little stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not going to be what we were used to.
right,
That's
right.
what it boils down to.
And let me ask you, P, because what is your thoughts on it? I know you don't have any skin in the game, but what are your thoughts on this, brother? When you looking from the outside,
What aspect of it? Because all of it is nonsense. How they gonna open up the schools and you still can't go to the movies yet? That sounds dumb.
right? True, true.
Like telling me it's safe for me to go, for my kids to sit in class. Last time I worked at the school, there was 20 kids in a class. There's no classrooms big enough to be 6 feet apart in no classroom. You're telling me it's safe enough for my child, who's already young and irresponsible, to go to a school on a daily basis when I can't go bowl, or I can't go sit at the bar, or I can't go to the movies. That sounds dumb in itself. The whole thing's dumb. So I really don't have much to say about it. I know if I were an educator still right now, I probably would be against it. But I know some districts where they're doing the virtual learning. Either you're paying attention or you're not. As a student, you're either going to get it or you're not. I think they're losing a lot by being home, but this is an unprecedented time.
Right.
It is what it is. We got to take precautions. Do you want to err on the side of the children's health, or do you want to err on the side of the children's education? We should have been prepared for this. You always need a backup plan for a backup plan. In Asia, they've been wearing masks and shit. It's always been something going on. For us to be so vain and arrogant and think that it could never happen to us and not have a nationwide backup plan for such an event in itself is dumb. It goes back to the leadership. The leadership ain't shit.
Right.
It goes back to the people because the people allow for the leadership to be in place. And that's all I got to say about it.
Fair enough, man. Now we primarily been talking about like grade school ages, man. You seen that a lot of colleges have returned, and I know in North Carolina they returned maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, and within the first week, like 100 some people caught or tested positive for the shit. So they
you gotta understand. A lot of people, it's your first time away from home.
Right. And
if they threw a party, you went.
Right.
You might have never been to a party like that before.
Absolutely.
They think it's cool. They think it's a game because they haven't. If you don't know anybody died, you might not think it's real.
Right.
I know people that died.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I know it's real.
Right.
I don't want to catch it because I don't have the time to fight it. I probably can beat it, but I still don't have the time to fight it. and with that in mind, it's like what do you do? To me, all that shit should be delayed until at least sometime next year.
But you got it.
I like college sports. It's going to hurt the economy for no college sports. But if there's going to be no college football, then the kids don't need to be on campus at all, period.
But see, you got to think, man, college is a business. I mean, it's a place for higher learning, but it's classified as a business. I think.
Yeah, that's why they have online courses.
Yeah, but they
got 1,000,001 online courses. You can be on campus and go to online courses. Either way, you don't need to be around a whole bunch of people. They said social distance. Keep your ass in the corner somewhere.
But at the same time, you got to pay. I think they only did it because they needed them dormitory fees so they could upkeep the dormitories.
Money.
Yeah. But like,
money.
but that's what you just said is the main difference between colleges and schools. Like they're used to online learning, or that's always been a aspect that they've offered at universities versus grade schools. This is the first time. This is unprecedented. Like you say, we're not lower middle school, elementary school, maybe high school kids might be used to it, or that might be an option available to them. But most middle school and elementary school kids, they don't understand. They don't understand how distant learning works. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be harder for you. Can't like take for instance like a kindergartner. Just to get them to log on to a computer. Now they understand computers way more than we did coming up because they've been exposed to computers. But when you're talking about sitting in front of and trying to learn through a computer, that's something different. Like, let me ask you, do you feel like teaching a younger kid would be harder, Miss Rachel, to do virtually?
Definitely. I mean, you're speaking my upcoming nightmare because
right.
I will be teaching third grade, so that's fine. But in the household, I have younger kids, and
right.
one of them's a pre-K student who will be just starting this school year. So I'm trying to figure out how he's going to be able to stay focused, what they're going to be doing to keep him going while I'm over here on the side working. And
right.
truly, you can't expect, like my other child, I believe she's going to be able to be independent with her courses. So that's cool. But him, there's no way for a pre-K student to be able to stay independent and engaged for, more than a few minutes at a time. So my hats off to those folks who are dealing with like kindergarten and pre-K students
right.
on this platform.
But
it's what we
one thing I will say is that one thing that this will test how great a parent you are and how adaptable of a parent you are, because what I'm saying is that I'm having to be even with my middle school child, I'm having to be way more hands on than I'm used to. Like I'm used to you going and just doing your work, you know what I mean? But now it's like you have to be thrusted into trying to figure out, because sometimes, like I said, these platforms that they're using aren't the most convenient platforms. Like, they say it's work there, but you can't find it. So you, as a parent, you're having to find ways to help your child find all this work that they claim is there, and it's just I don't want to be that hands on. I want you to do good in school, but I want that to be you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to have to interject myself into your learning like that, because y'all learning a different way. I don't understand how y'all doing math nowadays, and I don't want to be the one that's trying to teach you my way when it's obsolete. You know what I mean? So it's just, but I feel for people that have younger kids, like you got a pre-K. I mean, that's gonna be definitely difficult, because even though, we these kids are younger and younger, having access to technology, so they understand it, but to learn and try to learn your ABCs and all that stuff, it's going to show who an ancient parent is, and who's on top of their game for real. Because you really have to be more hands on as a parent. You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
With you bringing up that point, my heart kind of breaks for those parents who, like for language purposes, those language barriers.
Right.
They're also not technologically savvy and may have issues with internet and stuff like that. Those parents who want to provide better for kids, but for whatever reason their hands are kind of tied, I do feel sorry for them in this kind of situation. Now, those parents who they just ain't shit, they really couldn't care less. Now that's different.
Right.
Whatever. But there are some parents who it's like they're not understanding what's going on for
right.
whatever reason.
But let me ask you something though. As an educator, do you think will you be able to hold a kid back due to this online virtual learning stuff?
That's a great question. I know last go this is bad, but last go around there was some kids who were, we were having meetings, they were failing, they weren't doing well.
Right.
Then all this occurred, and it was like, there's no way.
Right.
You can't hold them back because they had to go through this now. So I know last go around it was like, nope, push for everybody to go ahead and progress to the next grade level, but this is when it's really going to bite them in the ass. And
right.
I think now they are going to be holding kids accountable because of how they've kind of changed up the system and things like that. I do believe that kids are being retained and things, but there's going to be across the board should have dropped like a grade level or two, because it's not the same caliber of curriculum, or the material isn't being presented the same way. So
right.
You know what? Now that I'm sitting thinking about it, do I think it's fair that they'll be possibly retained or held back? I don't, but it's probably going to happen, because we can't keep pushing kids forward through the grades when they haven't truly mastered the concepts and the skills.
Absolutely. I think but you have an argument like right there too. It's just like, as a parent, you would be able to argue that maybe it's not.
That'll make a difference.
But hold on, let me finish.
No, let me tell you why. I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
Because her last point was pushing them through without them mastering the skills. They've been doing that. I witnessed it firsthand. You don't have to master shit. When they came up with the No Child Left Behind laws,
right?
They don't leave kids behind no more. They don't even leave kids behind no more. And I know she can attest to the fact that she's asking kids that, goodness well, they wasn't ready to go to the next level. They don't leave kids behind no more, dog. So in this thing we got going on right now, with them not being able to really get the instruction, oh man, we're gonna lose a lot of kids.
Right. But to your point though, I'm not only talking about the kids that aren't up to speed. I'm talking about, what about the advanced kids? They're gonna be affected by this as well.
Everybody's gonna be affected.
Yeah, because it's just some wild shit. Because even with one of mine, man, we going through a thing right now where, when it first happened, we was looking forward to getting them into a certain class, and they kind of used this against us, and they used when they got out the first time that he wasn't able to get that instruction to move forward to this class, and it's becoming a big deal now because you have all. I mean, my kid's a straight A student, so you know how you gonna tell me he's not ready for this class and he's got straight A's to prove it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm dealing with that right now. So I mean, it goes both ways because it's just it's a different day for learning. I hope this is over within like the next couple seasons, but who knows? I mean, you know, who knows?
It's a community effort. People are
Yeah.
too sick of being in their houses with a mat or whatever to care. I mean, they'll talk a good talk, but
Right.
is everyone willing to wear their mask? Is everyone willing to social distance? We see every day those Karens who are out there,
Right.
working against the system. And until they do right to help the numbers go down, the kids, they're going to suffer educationally. It goes hand in hand.
True that, man. With that being said, all I'm gonna say is, man, be a decent parent. Make sure your kids are somewhat learning. Don't be an ain't shit parent. You at home. Most of us are at home anyway. I mean, you still working, but make sure your kids are learning to the best of your ability. Which may not be much, but at least try to make sure that the future is brighter for them than it was for you. So we're about to get started at our favorite moment of the week, man. That is the PAS moment of the week. And let me ask you, P, what PAS stand for?
Yeah, stands for people ain't shit.
Here we go.
What we get to people ain't
Yeah, this week's, man, we had a whole lot of people ain't shit moments this week, man. We had the moment where the neighbor shot the little white boy in the head. That was a real PAS moment. But the thing, the reason we chose this PAS moment was because we understood what went down. If anybody knows, this is Mr. Norman. He's part of the little Sweetie Pie show that comes on our own network. This was a real piece of shit type move because when I first saw this story, I thought they was actually plotting to kill the little dude. But come to find out, they had already killed the little dude. You know what I'm saying? So, so apparently this dude had taken out a policy on his nephew. He plotted with a stripper to set him up, and they murked little youngin. And I guess once he went to collect on the policy, they kind of figured out something was fishy, and they investigated it. Come to find out, it was
that's probably not even it. It was something else more like, when it's time for that insurance money, it's a lot of questions they ask you.
yeah,
And in a murder situation, it's probably even more questions they
Right.
ask you. And he didn't come back. He never finished answering the questions.
right.
Is what happened with him and his money. And it's probably because it got a little fishy to him. He probably said, "Oh shit, they on to me." You dig what I'm saying? But he already was in it for a penny, in it for a pound. He should have went ahead and got his money because he already did the deed.
Man,
Or at least try harder to
man,
get his
listen,
money.
that's your nephew though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
now,
already done it, B. It ain't like, you know what I'm
Dog.
saying? The moment that you made the conscious decision to have your nephew murdered
yeah,
for $500,000,
500.
you better collect your $500,000, dog. That's all that is. I ain't saying that you're supposed to do no shit like that. I got a lot of uncles, and it's fucked up if Uncle Willie gets me killed.
Right,
Uncle
right.
Alvin gets me killed. That's fucked up.
Real fucked
But at the
up.
same time, by the time he plots it out and is looking to collect $500,000, he might as well get his $500,000, dog.
Man, get the fuck out of here. Nah, but you right, you right. What say you, Miss Rachel? What you got?
I mean, for Bad Body Tim to even have the thought to go that far, like,
You right.
that's insane, and it brings up a lot of things. A lot of things now, I think, look questionable surrounding him. His mother's house was robbed a number of times. his brother's death, the the boy's father. It's just now you're looking suspect in a lot of ways. Because
Right.
if you're that greedy, if you already have the restaurants, the fame, and all this going on, you've been arrested in the past, but it looked like you improved your life, but you're willing to go this low. Like
Right.
now, everything's suspect. You need to be looked at for a number of things. So
Absolutely, man. I mean, like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm not saying I haven't wanted to kill some of my family. You understand? I get it.
B, let me tell you
I
something.
get it.
It's not money. It's not money that makes people wild. It's the love of money.
Right.
And what you must understand is these two things. For one, people ain't shit.
Right.
That goes for all people.
Right.
You, me, your mother, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, your little brother. All of them ain't shit because they people. You was born here by yourself, and for that instance right there, you're prone to consider yourself first.
Right.
But your second thing is that there are more mentally impaired people in this world than what the world wants to be. For real, 45% of the people have some type of mental impairment.
Right.
If you ask me, 50% of the people are retarded. So by the time
You can't say retarded, dog.
I can say retarded because retarded has a definition just like every other word, and the word retarded means to be behind or to be behind.
That's not politically correct, though.
I don't give a fuck about politically correct. We're talking about a word that's in the Webster's dictionary. Now, I'm not using it to be derogatory about anybody, but I'm grouping a group of people that are behind. If you are behind in whatever area, you have been retarded. And that's a word. Look it up. You don't like it, call my email and fuck it. But I just moved on to the next thing because they wouldn't even thought nothing of it if you hadn't mentioned it. So my point of the matter is 50% of the people are behind, 45% of the people are mentally ill. People ain't shit. That's 100%. And you put all those numbers together, you get a dumbass dude that was on TV to try to have his nephew murdered for $500,000 that he didn't collect, and now you're going to spend the next 25, 30 years in jail. That's what you get.
Hey, it's mentally.
If you don't like it, I ain't gonna say that.
The term is mentally delayed, P. Okay, you being insensitive. Okay,
I didn't say it. I'm 41. He said it. The word was retarded. But the word's going to be retarded. I'm not using it in a derogatory manner. I hope you don't get offended. But look it up and see what it means, and then you use it. The word bitch is a female dog. It's still a word that people use, and that's what it is. I said it.
Yeah, I don't know where you was going with that one, P. But at the end of
I said it.
But at the end of the day, man, you said it. I didn't.
I did.
Hey, listen.
I'm talking about the people that's behind the retarded.
If we have any mentally delayed viewers, just know I care.
I care too. If you're retarded, I care. People, you can be retarded in the area.
Listen, we gotta go. We gotta go.
If you're offended, look the word up.
You're gonna get us kicked off. You're gonna get us kicked off.
I'm not gonna get us kicked off.
Stop.
Look up. Google, look up the word and tell me what you say. If I'm wrong, I'm lying, I'm flying.
YouTube is gonna kick us off, man.
YouTube, you can't say shit like that. If I'm lying, I'm flying, YouTube.
P, we from a different era, man. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say thank you, Miss Rachel, for coming to the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for
Always a pleasure. Thank you for dropping by. Until the next time, man. Hey,
thanks, Rachel.
You need sensitivity classes,
No,
P.
I'm about to give you my editorial right now.
Okay.
I am a human being. I don't consider myself an American. I'm not a black man. I'm not a man. I'm not a heterosexual. I'm a human being. I believe in what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I believe that the power of the tongue can cut like glass.
Right.
I'm also not a divisive person.
Right.
I'm not a person that's racist or offensive in any manner. But I know a lot of words.
Right.
I know that there's a word that I used. There's a definition for it like all words. If you look it up, I used it in the correct context. I'm not using it to be disparaging or disheartening to anyone. If you took it the wrong way, you're a human being. You can take it however you want to take it. I said it, and that's that.
All you had to do was say sorry, man.
I ain't saying sorry because I'm not.
You went
I'm
through
not
all
sorry.
that, P.
Why would I apologize? Why would I say sorry? See, all you had to do was shut the fuck up. I just gave you the thing that was to end the show, but you had to say
I
fucking
did,
something.
man. I
So
had to,
now
cause
it looks
not.
like, nah,
Okay.
fuck that.
Nah.
I didn't say sorry. I'm not sorry. And now you about to make me be an asshole because I said that
P,
shit.
okay.
I said that shit.
Let me. We gonna end it on this note. See, you had me, but see, you went sideways. You like, I'm just.
No. All you had to do was let, it was my editorial, B.
I know
It
it's
was
your
my
editorial, P.
All you had to do was say that's his opinion and left it alone. But you said something,
Absolutely.
so now I look like the jerk, and that's fine, because I don't give a fuck about being a jerk. I am P. I do what I want to do. I say what I want to say. If you don't like it, don't watch the show. Fuck you.
Okay, P. You going hard, but nah, it's okay.
But you
P.
just introduced that and made me mad. You made me mad.
I got you. I
Because
got
gave
you.
the
That was
perfect
my whole
politically
point, though.
correct joke, and you just took it too far.
I know that was the whole point, though.
Why did you even say
Because you was going off on I'm not heterosexual, I'm not this, I'm not that.
I
What
gave,
the fuck is you talking
my
about, P?
politically correct last statement. All you had to say was that's P's statement and let
P.
it go, young. You brought something else back into. You brought the negative back into it.
I
I
know.
took the negative out of it.
No, you didn't.
Now you brought it back in and pissed me off and made me go ham on camera. You know I don't like to be ham on camera.
P, stop it. Stop it.
And
We gonna end it on that note. I still love you, brother. I still love you, but you are
You know, I cut
heterosexual.
your ass out about some
There's
shit,
no-
man. I'm mad about the world right now.
I
Anyway,
know. As
don't
long
get me
as I've
started
known
on
you,
no
P.
bullshit.
P. As long as I've known you've been heterosexual, so why would you go and be like, oh, that's
Because
what I
I
love
wanted
about
to
you, though.
include all people, young.
Okay.
You missed my point. All you had to say was nothing. You missed my point. You didn't need to say nothing. I told them this is my editorial. This is my last statement. I gave them the whole good joke. You had to say something.
You Kurgan, P. You was Kurgan. For
Yeah,
real.
because you had to say something. Why
I did, man. That's what we do.
You
We say
introduced the
something.
negative back into it.
P,
I had
you
put
my
the
man.
negative out of it.
You my man. Nah,
Oh,
you my
oh,
man,
oh.
man. You my man. I still love you, P.
It's my Stephen
I
A.
love you,
moment.
brother. I love you.
I
All
love you.
right, all
I
right.
love
Big
you.
hugs, man. Hugs. You ain't
I
got.
love you.
But until the next time, but see, for those that just witnessed this, we had a
And
disagreement.
he's still talking.
No.
Let the fucking shit go. B, it's
P,
over.
I'm not. Let me finish. If you let me
You done
finish.
finished it. I
No,
finished it.
I'm not
20
finished.
minutes ago,
I'm not
when
finished,
you brought
P.
up the shit again, you
I
just keep
wasn't
bringing
bringing
it
it
up.
up. Listen, I was saying this. For all those that are watching, you see me and my man had a disagreement, but at the end of the day, we came back to brotherly love, man. I still love you, P. All right? And we going to end it on
I
that.
love you. Let it go. It's
It
over.
is
You know what
gone.
I'm
It's
saying? Don't say
gone.
nothing else.
It's gone.
I love you back. Let it go. It's over.
It is. So until the next time we see y'all, hugs and kisses. If
Don't
you
be
see
stupid.
somebody that need a hug, give them a hug, man.
And don't be stupid. Stop being stupid, y'all. You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
until the next time we see y'all,
Stupid.
man. Y'all be easy, man. Peace. You a fool, P, man.
Nah, man, you did that shit, young. I had straight. You first of all, you tried to make me look like the bad guy.